So let's chat about what exactly is a business model. This is a term that's used often, and it's used often incorrectly. Okay? Most people kind of misunderstand it. Some people use this term instead of saying how do you make money. Some people mean are you profitable. Some people use this term to kind of talk about the revenue model. It's all not correct. Okay? So you can actually, there are some pretty complex definitions for this, but let's start with a simple one. And we don't necessarily need the complex one, okay? Think about the word model, right? Think about an example of any model, like a little car model, or maybe in architecture, first, instead of building a building, they make a little model of the neighborhood so that you see how it will look like. And if they like it, they will decide to make it bigger. So it's kind of like a 1,000-foot view on the different components of your business, right? And what are the main components of your business? Well, it's like always, right? Your product, your marketing / sales, because that's how you sell the product, and your finances, because those are how, everything has to happen with reasonable finances, right? You want to be profitable. So, and depending on your business, each of those large parts, right? Product, marketing, finances, have sub parts in them that have to work well together. And what happens is, so the business model is a little bit like it's a living, breathing animal, and it's that entire inner workings of the components of your business. That's your business model. And what you have to do is make sure that it functions well, right? And you always have to adjust each part so that different parts of the business work well and work naturally with other parts of the business. For example, here, if you have a product that you made, okay, it's a good product, but are there natural marketing strategies for it? If there isn't, how are you going to sell it, right? So if there isn't, you should really adjust the product a little bit so that there open up marketing strategies for it. And then you have to examine, does this all happen within reasonable finances, meaning are you profitable, or will you be profitable at some point in the future if you adjust, or if you get scale, or if something else happens. And you always have to adjust, and refine each piece, right? Refine each part of the business while, so optimizing. So for example, optimizing, making the product better, making your marketing more effective, getting more traffic, right? And then of course, making sure that still, even if you change the product a little bit, that your marketing strategy still makes sense, right? Because let's say you change the product so much that maybe the target market becomes a little different, right? Maybe the product becomes more sophisticated, and then the target consumer becomes a high-end consumer. Just as an example. Well, then a lot of your marketing efforts may have to change as well, and things that were working may not work because all of a sudden the product is best for a different kind of a person. And so you always have to keep all these things in mind, and when you get it all to work well, that's good, and that's a good business model, right? And because everything's working well, and that's really how I kind of like to look at the business model. It's just sort of like a 10,000-foot view of everything that's happening in your business, and of course you want that to be good. You want to always work on refining every part of that. And so it's kind of like, just to reiterate a little bit, it's a little bit like the whole situation is like a three-legged stool, right? If one part doesn't work, if some part doesn't work right with the other parts, the stool falls, right? If one leg is missing. So for example, you have a product, but the marketing is not working. Well, then something's not quite right with the business model. Same thing if you have a lot of like traffic, but nobody's buying, or they're not buying at a good enough price, and you can make profits from it. Well, then it's in the middle, the business model is not working, right? So the whole idea is that you've got to look at all. So in this example, I'm giving the very simplified sort of three major components, right? Product, marketing, finances. But for whatever your business might be, you will have other components that might be important, right? Maybe you manage inventory. Maybe you get manufacturing, so you have to take that into consideration. Maybe, customer support is really important for your business, right? So other things, Who knows? Every business is so different. Maybe there's some legal things that are happening that may affect some part of your business model. Who knows? You know. Um, so whatever it is for your business, you always have to sort of adjust and optimize each piece to work well by itself, but also to make sure that it's still working well with all the other parts of your business. And that's kind of what your business model is. And it's kind of also at the same time what I would recommend doing and what I do for my business to make sure that not only I have a business model, but it's a better and better and better and better one every day.